Well, needless to say, we feel a heck of a lot better than we've been feeling these last few games. And, right before the half, we were up 8 or 9. And, they made their last 3 3-pointers of the first half, and all of a sudden now it gets down to it's a 4-point game at halftime. And I thought we would come out and play well early in the second half. We had a wide open 3 with Marcus from the corner, Larry from the left wing. Dion had a 10-footer. We didn't make them, and they made something. All of a sudden, made a couple of threes, and it's a 5-point advantage their way. And I was really mad at that point, and called timeout at a stupid time since we were getting a layup. But I was really frustrated with the way we guarded and wanted to challenge a little bit more defensively. And then we go on a great run. And Steve told me it was 16-2 after they took a 5-point lead. And then we were fortunate. We got some misses from them. They had some open shots that they missed, and we kept scoring down the stretch. And something that we haven't been doing lately. We've been turning the ball over and missing shots. And tonight we had 10 turnovers for the game, which I think is either our lowest or second lowest of the year. But it was one of those fortunate nights for us that we had some shots go in and it didn't go in for them, and some really quirky things. It's 3 seconds on the shot clock, and we're signaling a man-to-man defense. And then they reset the shot clock, and it got reset just a little bit late. And I think it was Gonzalez, youngster, that thought it was still 3, and he took 3 seconds, and then he took a quick 3 and missed it. So I mean, we did have some lucky things that happened to us as well. I do like shooting 57.7% in the second half, and again, we were very fortunate that they didn't shoot it as well as we've seen them shoot it other games. But I think a couple of things that was big for us was John Henson and Dexter Strickland, for example. They came in the game. I thought Will was getting a little tired, and I brought in John, and John had some block shots that I thought was important for us. And then Dexter took over after Larry got his 3rd foul, and those guys were really big for us. And you look down there, John only played 7 minutes, but I thought it was a big 7 minutes. Let's put it that way. It was during that stretch when they weren't scoring, he was blocking some shots. But feel as lucky as we can be, and I'll shut up. It's late when you ask questions.
Last week after the Wake game, you said you had no post shooters you could pour on them to make them start playing well. What was during that timeout that you think maybe you said to kind of get them clicking?
That gives coaching too much credit. I mean, we made a silly mistake. That's the reason I called it timeout. We got 2 guys guarding 1 guy underneath the basket, letting the three-point shooter shoot, but out there with nobody guarding him. And we'd had 2 straight possessions defensively that we hadn't done what we wanted to do. And I just wanted to make them mad at me or something. I yelled at them for a little bit. If they want to get mad at me, maybe they'll go ahead and focus on playing the game.
At what point after that did you realize that maybe they were starting to click and they were playing some of their best ball in a while?
Well, I thought really, other than the first 3 minutes of the second half, we played pretty well the whole second half. You know, we had a shot clock violation, he had pushed off, you know, a couple of crazy little things like that. Dexter drills it off his foot, hits the state player, then it hits Marcus's foot and goes out of bounds. And I told Dexter I love him to go as fast as he can, top the key, and then he's got to get it under control. And that get it under control part is not quite in his game yet.
What does it do for the young guys, kind of the true road win?
Well, I hope it gives them a little confidence. Playing a very good North Carolina State team, I think that they have a really great mix of outside scoring, and Tracy inside that's really tough for the other teams to guard. And again, we found a night where we didn't make too many of their outside shots.
Coach, when did you make the decision to play Ed?
With about 13 minutes on the game clock before the game started, I went out to talk to him at that point. He had already lobbied a great deal for it this afternoon at the shoot-around. I told him I still wanted to watch him warm up and see how it felt at that time. I told him he's got to be over 90% or I wasn't going to play him. And Saturday and Sunday he did about 20% of practice. And during that time period he wasn't very effective. And so the day at shoot-around I said, can you play better than you did Saturday and Sunday? I said, because that wasn't very good. I said, how's it feel compared to that? And he said, the difference is night and day. And Chris Hurth, our trainer, they've been spending 2 or 3 hours together the last 3 or 4 days, even outside of practice. So he's done a nice job with what he had.
Coach, going back to Henson and Strickland, just and all the rest of the inexperienced guys, for them to play as well as they did in the last 17 minutes, in your experience, what kind of momentum boost can that serve for those kind of freshmen?
You know, you hope it's a big boost. You know, you go back to Charleston, we were 11 points up with 4 minutes to play, and we didn't make plays, and they were in key situations there. But you know, the whole season is just it's a journey. And each and every day you've got opportunities to learn something. Each and every day you've got opportunities to do successful things or fail. And you've got to hopefully do the right things, and if you do, you can benefit and be positive in the results, and that really does help.
Roy, would you just,
Gonzalez made that basket, and inside, he got that rebound, tossed it in there, place is kind of going crazy. And that's kind of when the run started.
Well, that's when I called the timeout. I said there was a second thing that really made me mad. The first one was Deion and Ed guarding the guy underneath, and nobody guarding the guy at the top. And the second one is Larry didn't box out Gonzalez. I mean, the point guard's got to box out. It's his time. His player, a lot of times, is going back as defensive balance. And so we have had two straight defensive eras, one to give him a three and the other one to give Gonzalez the offensive rebound, and that's the reason I was mad.
So to follow up, Dave, so was that run that sparked, did you think about your defense started playing better, they were having a hard time, because obviously they didn't score for a long stretch.
You know, when I called the timeout, I think Deion was about to lay it up. I don't even know if we scored. I mean, it was actually the timeout, you know, so that must have been when we started, but it wasn't because of the timeout, it's just because the kids played better.
Roy, would you just address the toughness with which your team played tonight? They hung in there even when they fell behind, and on defense, they really played hard all night long and showed the kind of what you've been telling us you wanted to see from them.
And we got that Saturday and Sunday in practice. I mean, we went a long time Saturday and Sunday. And we tried to make it as competitive as it could be, and I wasn't very nice to them, and, you know, and they answered. And they really did. Yesterday's practice wasn't quite as good as Saturday and Sundays, but I got on a good bit after practice yesterday. But I think the toughness was there. I think we were better defensively, and you know, and the guys, everybody understands it looks so much better when the ball goes in. You know, we made some shots too.
Take one or two more.
Roy, did you intentionally throttle back the pace, or is that just the way the game unfolded?
You know, Larry pitched ahead once to Dexter in the first half, and then in the second half, we were getting turnovers, and we really were trying to run it, but we're not very efficient. You know, in turnovers, Dexter had, I think, 2 turnovers on the fast break when we've got numbers. You know, so the intention was not to throttle it back. The intention was to get a great shot every time. And that if we didn't have it on the break, then let's do a better job of our movement, better job of our screens, and better job of our spacing.
Roy, you mentioned John's impact defensively. He looks more comfortable offensively than I've seen him before. Did you think he was more aggressive tonight?
You know, I probably wouldn't say that because he got the ball dribble sideways still. He does a lot, but he did take it to the basket with a funky little scoop shot kind of deal. I told him if it had been me with that, I'd have dunked it that kind of thing. But you know, I'm still 59 years old and dreaming about dunking it. But I don't know that I would say he was more comfortable offensively, but I know it was effective defensively, and I think that had to help him in every way.
Close, Coach Lowe is ready.
Thanks, guys.